Lieber Herr Dr. Göttler, distinguished representatives of participating companies, distinguished members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, the invitation from HANNOVER, MESSE, for Portugal to be its partner country is a source of pride and encouragement. We took up the challenge, suggested in 2017, formalized 2 years later without hesitation. Together, we overcame the long winter of the pandemic, and we now bring this project to life in the spring of 2022. With confidence in a forward-looking manner in which Portugal makes sense to the European economy where Germany holds a central place. Indeed, Portugal makes sense for its stability, for the role it plays in Europe, for the doors it opens to the Atlantic dimension, whose full potential remains untapped. A medium-sized nation in Europe, yes, but one with 97% of its territory in the Atlantic Ocean. Behind us, as we celebrate Magellan's first circumnavigation, lie 5 centuries of globalization, initiated back then through a scientific and technological quantum leap. That spirit and the global admiration it earned endures in a soft power of global reach. We chose as our logo the astrolabe, an instrument perfected by the Portuguese to guide seafarers in the age of discoveries, allowing Portugal to offer new worlds to the world. The HANNOVER MESSE also stands as an astrolabe, indicating new avenues for world industry. Portugal makes sense for its economic growth. GDP rose by 4.9% in 2021. Before Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine, we aimed to achieve 5.5% this year. Fiscal responsibility and budgetary discipline, with a surplus in 2019 and primary surpluses for several years now, are key aspects of our performance. Following the successful conclusion of a financial assistance program that earned the respect of financial markets and partners like Germany. National debt remains at a downward trajectory, and the outlook of the rating agencies is positive. Portugal makes sense in the reinvention of the European Union's energy model, in our collective transition to reality built upon renewable energies. Although lacking in fossil fuels, Portugal is wealthy in the natural resources that matter now. Oceans, hydro, solar and wind energy, wealthy in lithium, biofuels and biomass, wealthy in its capability and further potential for abundant green hydrogen, Wasserstoff, essential in freeing Europe from its strategic vulnerabilities in energy supply and in meeting our ambitious environmental goals. We have an established cluster of specific scientific, technological, and entrepreneurial capabilities. We are committed with neighboring Spain and with Germany's increasing enthusiasm to a green energy corridor across the Pyrenees, providing Europe with an alternative source of clean energy. Portugal makes sense because so many German economic groups have enjoyed a successful presence among us for so long, some of them for over a century. In trade terms, looking beyond the Iberian Peninsula, Germany is our second largest market and our main supplier. The coverage rate is stable in terms of goods and services at 85% from the Portuguese perspective, which is remarkable in itself, and the mix improves towards segments of greater added value. Portugal makes sense to Germany as the main qualified foreign investor, one with an interesting trajectory. It was mostly blue-collar when we joined the European communities in the 80s, as exemplified by VW, Auto Europa, Leica, and Continental. Moving towards white-collar with Siemens, tech centers over the last decade. It now evolves in the direction represented, among others, by Bosch's lab coats, TeamViewer's turtlenecks, in numerous other IT centers and the digital nomads that go as far as the Azores, thanks to an excellent telecommunication infrastructure and to the quality of our highly educated workforce. Portuguese industrial, tech and scientific companies have taken the opposite route, choosing Germany as their platform for operations in Central Europe, with visibly growing productive investments. Portugal makes sense because of our shared experience. It has led us to fertile ground for low risk and growth and diversification opportunities for German companies as Europe looks increasingly to the West and other regions. Nearshoring became a byword following the first waves of the pandemic. The strategic implications of this new, tragic wave of violence force additional reassessment. European entrepreneurs will discover an open-minded, obstacle-free market in Portugal, one with concrete solutions for the supply strains we now face, with knowledge for lesser energy-intensive industries, away from combustion engines into a digital, green, and circular economy. This was the essence of our recent EU Council presidency in a trio that we share with Germany and brought our two nations closer still. Portugal makes sense in particular to the German Mittelstand, now looking at new directions. Reaching out to this Mittelstand is a top priority of ours for the HANNOVER MESSE 2022. In the course of 4 very intense days, we will exhibit the technological innovation and the competence of Portuguese ecosystems around 3 focus areas: engineered parts and solutions, digital ecosystems, and energy solutions. Some 100 Portuguese companies representing the energy, metalworks, capital goods industries, namely the tooling, machinery, equipment, and IT sectors. All of them strongly internationalized, congregating 33,000 enterprises, 250,000 jobs, and accounting for almost 10% of our GDP. We will be present here in 4 pavilions, the central one in Hall 2, and 3 satellites in Halls 3, Engineered Parts and Solutions, 5, Digital Ecosystems, and 13, Energy Solutions. The central pavilion by the north entrance will be the hub of activities related to Portugal as partner country. Our program covers the presentation of product solutions that incorporate and/or apply innovative technologies, the ones that demonstrate that Portugal makes sense. Just to name a few: green hydrogen, from production technology to its use in mobility; smart cities, with intelligent transmission and management solutions developed with universities and tech poles; artificial intelligence and IoT, with direct applications in industrial production lines, biometrics, or mobility systems; smart manufacturing, featuring the largest metal print solution in the world with LPBF, laser powder bed fusion technology developed in collaboration with the Fraunhofer Institute for Laser Technology; manufacturing execution systems with applications in the aeronautical, train, and automotive industries; augmented and virtual reality, relevant for the aeronautical, paper, and food industries; and 3D digital twin solutions as applied to the car, paper, and chemical industries. We will hold debates and presentations on energy transition from generation to consumption, with sustainability at the core of the agenda, on digitalization and industry on the road to 5.0, and on the future of mobility with autonomous driving and connectivity, a field in which Portugal and Germany buttress European technological leadership. Very important. Portugal's participation in the HANNOVER MESSE is led by ICEP, our trade and investment agency, whose president and a dear friend is here with us today. ICEP is joined by 2 essential partners: IMAP, the equivalent to Germany's VDMA, and Deutsch-Portugiesische Industrie- und Handelkammer. I must thank both for their support. Any visitor to the HANNOVER MESSE 2022 will unveil with the ICEP team a universe of options presented by our companies and the advantages of sourcing and/or joint ventures in Portugal. Our objective as partner country is to strengthen the perception of Portugal as an innovative and technologically advanced country, a reliable provider of quality goods and services in the industrial value chain, bolstering the role of Portuguese companies in the global value mesh. We want to showcase our competitive advantages to draw scientific, technological, and productive investment. Portugal makes sense to invest, to develop industrial partnerships, to source, to expand, to thrive. But Portugal also makes sense to go outside the box, to innovate and to make wonderful dreams come true. Please come visit us. Vielen Dank für diese Gelegenheit.